talk about some guys to pick up, and no one should pick up this guy here, Igor Sharangovich, because unfortunately he ruined my life last week.
Yes, the Stephen Ellis life ruiner, Igor Sharangovich, available in 56% of leagues. He's a shallow league pickup. 7 goals, 9 points in his last 6 games, already get to career high 27 goals. And yes, overall on the season, he's shooting above 19%, so that's a little bit unsustainable. There'll be some slumps, but he's now playing center on the first line in Calgary. He's playing the point on the power play, top unit. So he's getting some interesting deployments now. And to me, the role offsets any eventual regression that's coming. Maybe he's not a 40-goal guy, but he's going to be 30. He might finish with 35 goals even this year. So he needs to be owned in almost every league at the moment.
All right. This is the guy that has actually helped me in these spot duty pickups in the last couple of weeks, and that is Justus Unin out of Colorado.
Yes. So he's available in 93% of leagues, so normally that would qualify him as more of a deep league pickup. But note that I have him as a medium league pickup because I think he'd be that useful. So it's a sneaky one. We know that the Colorado Avalanche GM, Chris McFarland, in an interview with our colleague, Frank Saravalli, said that he really wanted Colorado to rest Alexander Georgiev down the stretch a lot more. He was playing too much. So that establishes we know that Colorado wants to play its 1B. Then it was expected the Avs were going to make a trade for a backup goalie to remedy that. They didn't. So whether they couldn't find one or, which is the other theory, they just were happy with their other option. Either way, now we see that Unin is established and doesn't have competition other than Prosvetov in the minors as the 1B. And he's got 2 shutouts in a row. He's got a .929 save percentage across 6 starts. He's sort of settling in now with Pavel Francouz out for the year. It's Unin's job now. He's the number 2 in Colorado, and I think he's going to play more than people realize down the stretch because Colorado wants to rest Georgiev. So to me, he's starting to establish himself as a key streamer down the stretch. It's funny. I thought he pronounced it Justus Unin, but he's Unin. I've never said his name out loud because we haven't really had to. He's only played 6 games in the NHL. So Steven, confirm for me. It's Justus Unin. That's how you say it?
I think. I've heard it differently on different broadcasts, depending on the NHL and the AHL. Now, I will say, I did write about him in a blurb at the beginning of the season as, okay, Colorado, you need a backup goalie. This guy's actually pretty good. Like you look at some of the surface level numbers, but watching him play, it was like it just needed a slightly better defensive system in front of him than what he was getting with the Eagles to really prove what he could do. So I'm happy to see this because this was a guy that at one point was a top 5 goalie prospect in the league and just kind of fell out of like people just fell in love with him. Part of that was we've just seen an influx of really good goaltenders come up since then. Another part, maybe the fact that he's playing in Colorado, not the world's biggest hockey market, not getting a lot of love in the AHL. I think he's a pretty good long-term backup goalie. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's pushing for more starts next year as maybe even the challenge for that starting position. I'm a big fan of him. I'm happy he's doing well. Another guy I used to be a huge fan of, Alex Nylander, a guy that I remember seeing a standing ovation for at the 2018 World Juniors when he was a Buffalo Sabres prospect. It had not really seemed to work out for him until recently, where he goes to Columbus, and it seems like he's Connor Bedard's Connor McDavid out there. What's going on there?
Yes. And by the way, I just want to confirm it's Justus Unin. I just double checked. So
okay.
Justus Unin is the pronunciation. Okay. So yes, deep league pickup of the week is Alex Nylander. I can't believe that I'm recommending him, but here I am. He's 97% available. So not many people have caught on. First 8 games after that weird trade with Pittsburgh, he's got 5 goals, 7 points. And to me, what really stands out is encouraging. Usually you go on a heater, 5 goals in 8 games. Oh, you're shooting 40%. Like, for example, Igor Sharangovich in his hot streak is shooting almost 40%. So that's a hot streak. Nylander, during this 8-game run, is shooting 20%. That's not that high. Like, that's almost sustainable. Maybe like 17 would be sustainable. But to me, what that says is he's getting lots of chances. It's not like everything's going in. 20% is pretty normal. He's got 25 shots in 8 games. So to me, what we're seeing is some sustainable play from Nylander. He's actually generating a lot of chances. He's playing on the top power play unit. So I think we need to see where this goes, especially in the deep league where you're looking for some kind of spark. I would recommend picking him up. Just see what happens.
Okay. I like it. And now this one, I can't believe that we're even talking about him at this point, and that is WTF pickup, Pavel Zacha.
Yes, and that's the point, right? The WTF category, we're supposed to say, how are we talking about this guy? That's why it works, right? So Pavel Zacha available in 65% of leagues. And to me, that number looks low. But I think what happened was, start of the year, he's the first line center with Pasternak. Then it switches. Charlie Coyle goes on his big run. And I feel like maybe people aren't paying attention and are not noticing that Zacha is the one who's back with Pasternak now. 5 goals, 7 points in his last 4 games. And also in a bigger sample, 17 points in his last 22. So pretty solid production. More of an even strength source of points. He plays power play too. But it's basically just, if you're picking up a Bruins center, just follow David Pasternak. Just pretend you're David Pasternak's stalker and just follow whoever is playing with him. So right now it's back to being Zacha. That means Zacha should be owned in every league. Pretty simple.